Selling a home is stressful. Selling a home while still living in it with kids is a completely different level. You're managing school schedules, activities, meals, toys, and on top of all of that, you're expected to keep your home show ready at all times. Today, I want to talk about the things no one really explains before you list your home when kids are still living in it, what this realistically looks like day to day, and how planning ahead makes the entire process so much smoother. If you haven't met me yet, I'm Celina Michel, a realtor here in Acadiana. I work primarily with growing families and move-up buyers, especially those buying and selling at the same time. I also have a young family of my own, so I understand how different this process feels when kids are part of the equation. My approach is very planning focused because when families are prepared, everything feels more manageable. One thing I always tell my sellers up front is that once your home hits the market, it needs to stay show ready. Now, that doesn't mean perfect, but it does mean clean, calm, and welcoming every single day. For families with kids, that's usually the hardest adjustment. You're not cleaning once, you're maintaining. I've had sellers tell me it feels like they're constantly resetting the house, especially during the first week on the market when showing activity is the highest. Before a home ever goes live, I like to spend time setting expectations with my sellers. We talk through showing activity, lead time, prep routines, and backup plans so everyone knows what the day-to-day will look like. That way, once we're on the market, nothing feels surprising. My goal is for families to feel informed and supported, not overwhelmed, especially when kids are part of the picture. When I list a home with kids, I give my sellers a very clear standard for what show ready means. This includes taking out the trash, making sure the home smells clean and neutral and not like food, closing the toilet lids, clearing countertops, making the beds, and having the toys put away. Buyers form opinions quickly, especially families walking through and imagining their own lives in the space. These details matter more than people realize. I also give my sellers a quick prep guide based on time because not every showing gives you hours of notice. If you have 10 minutes, we focus on the non-negotiables. Trash out, beds made, counters cleared, lights on, toilet lids closed, and a quick scent check. If you have a few hours, we can go a little bit deeper. Clean the floors, laundry hidden, bathrooms refreshed. Having this plan removes the panic when a showing request comes in. One thing that surprises a lot of sellers is that we actually can control showing requests by setting a lead time. Buyers can't just show up with no notice. That said, I don't typically encourage anything beyond a 12-hour notice because longer lead times can limit showings and fewer showings mean fewer opportunities for strong offers. The goal isn't to make showings harder, the goal is to be prepared. When your home is already show ready and you have a clear prep plan, shorter notice is much more manageable, even with kids at home. One question I get a lot from parents is, what do we actually do with the kids during showings? What I've found works best is having a simple plan. Maybe it's a walk around the neighborhood, sitting in the car with a snack, heading to a nearby park, or running a quick errand. When families decide this ahead of time, showing requests feel less disruptive. You're not scrambling to figure out where everyone's going. You already know, and that makes a big difference in how stressful the process feels. I want to pause here and explain why all of this matters. When families don't plan ahead for showings, lead time, or financial options, stress starts driving decisions. That's when people feel pressure around timing, terms, and logistics. My goal is always to slow things down on the front end so families can move forward confidently instead of reactively. One of the very first conversations I encourage families to have before we even talk about timing or showings is with their lender. Can you comfortably handle 2 mortgages at the same time if needed? This doesn't mean that's the plan, it just gives us clarity. If carrying 2 mortgages is an option, sometimes moving out completely before selling becomes the least stressful route. The house stays clean, showings are easier, and emotions are lower. If carrying 2 mortgages isn't comfortable, that's okay. Then we move into other options like sale contingencies, carefully timed closings, or short-term housing solutions. The important part is that these conversations happen early, not in the middle of chaos. When there's a plan in place, families feel more confident and in control. When I work with families, we look at 3 things: financial flexibility, emotional tolerance, and timing. School schedules, work schedules, and real life all matter here. There's no universal right answer. There's only the right answer for your family, your kids, and your season of life. I've been helping families buy and sell homes since 2017, and one thing I've learned is that thoughtful planning makes all the difference, especially when kids are involved. If you're thinking about selling, buying, or trying to do both at the same time and you want help creating a plan that actually fits your family's life, I'd love to help.